Today we'll be looking at the early life and the story of Thomas A. Merrick in Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, Thomas A. Merrick is believed to have been born in 1986 in California. Merrick would be born with big shoes to fill, at least in his eyes, as his grandfather served in World War II and was killed during the Normandy Neptune operation, and his father would also be killed in Fallujah, Iraq, when Merrick was about 18 years old. Merrick's father had a big influence on him growing up, and when Merrick was 17 years old, he would complete the training to become a SEAL, and he would eventually be assigned to Team 2. And after a few years, he would move up to a Tier 1 group under Captain Gabriel Rourke. A few years later, Merrick would take part in Operation Sandviper, which would brand him and his team as legends.
When the dust and sand had settled, only one of the enemy had survived. He was picked up in the desert, wandering aimlessly, traumatized. He expressed warnings to others of a force so menacing and unbeatable, it could only be described as supernatural. He called them ghosts.
And many years later, he would also be a part of the operation to assassinate the Federation General Diego Almagro. Which would be successful, but would also result in the loss of their longtime captain, Gabriel Rourke. After the op in Caracas, Venezuela to assassinate Almagro, Lieutenant Elias Walker would be promoted to captain and commanding officer of the Ghost unit, while Thomas A. Merrick would become a lieutenant. And in 2017, during the Federation's attack on the US, Merrick would do what he does best and operate alongside his team and fight the Federation for over a decade. And eventually in early 2027, Merrick would be promoted to captain, and he would begin to work alongside Captain Elias Walker to eventually take over as commanding officer for the Ghost unit. In 2027, during a recon mission, Ajax is captured by the Federation, while Merrick and Keegan are out in no man's land. Captain Walker sends his sons to assist Merrick and Keegan, and sometime later, Merrick hears some commotion, and it turns out to be Elias' sons being attacked by a pack of wolves. They intervene and they dispatch of the wolves.
You look lost.
I'm not lost. Looking for you, Captain Merrick.
Walker, I believe you have something for me.
We came across some feds moving a guy to Firebase Charlie. You one of yours?
Yeah, Ajax. All right, we don't have a lot of time. You can stick with us, but you do what I say when I say it. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Merrick tells Hesh and Logan about Ajax, and they soon realize that he was moved to a stadium nearby. The team make their way under the command of Merrick and eventually find Ajax, who dies from the wounds that were inflicted by the Federation and Rourke. Here, Merrick realizes that Rourke is after the Ghost. The team quickly take Ajax and return to Fort Santa Monica, where an attack from the Federation has already begun. Merrick is fighting alongside Keegan and Captain Walker when they hear that Logan and Hesh are inside of a building looking for their father. The Ghost team rush to find the Walker brothers and save them right before the building they were in collapsed.
Hey! We just saved your asses!
You need your help!
The hell you didn't!
Stow it! All of you!
Soon after this, intel revealed Rourke's location, and the Ghosts mobilized to capture him before he moved again. And they would finally reach his location, and Merrick would grab him and throw him out of a window and load him up onto their aircraft. Elias Walker would interrogate Rourke while Merrick watched. However, they would be ambushed by the Federation, and their aircraft would be destroyed. The team would crash land in Yucatan, and Merrick and Hesh would land together and tell the team to meet nearby. However, Merrick and Hesh would be captured by Federation soldiers that were patrolling the area, who held them at gunpoint. And although everything seemed lost, the rest of the team would show up and save them right before they would be executed. Merrick and the team escape Yucatan, and Merrick leads the team on the ground in the Andes as they infiltrate a lab to find out what the Federation is currently working on. And when they reach inside of the lab, they find a reversed engineered weapon by the name of Loki that derived from the US Odin system. Captain Walker orders the destruction of the lab, and Merrick alongside the team escape while an airstrike is being called on their location. Captain Merrick is told to regroup in Las Vegas, where the Ghosts have a safe house. Merrick is feeling optimistic about finally getting Rourke and really hurting the Federation. However, they are ambushed once more by Rourke inside of their safe house. Merrick would be separated from the group and he would be tortured in solitude, which would lead him to have a few broken ribs and a pretty banged up face. Sometime later, Merrick awakens next to Logan and Hesh as they are about to be executed. However, they are saved by Keegan and the team fight their way out of the Las Vegas safe house and return to base.
We're clear. Where's Keegan?
He's on his way.
Grab that radio. We can put some distance between us and them.
Sounds like they heard us. They're sending more of them our way.
Hesh, what's your location?
Moving to the kitchen. Why?
I'm almost there. You better find a place to hide. A lot of guys headed right to you.
How many?
Too many.
Ah, damn it. Ah, son. Come on. Oh, shit.
Keegan. We gotta hide now. Shit.
Get him up. Hide in here, quick. Down, get down. Turn the radio down.
Shh. Hey, el ruido venía de ahí. Revisen las esquinas, no dejen nada a la suerte. Rodrigo, mira ahí. Ahora mismo.
Here is where Merrick learns that Captain Walker has been killed, and he is now the commanding officer of the Ghost. This is an extremely heavy loss for Merrick, as many of his brothers have been dying, and this war is beginning to take a big toll, not just on him, but on everyone.
Lieutenant Mack, please report to the flight deck.
When the assault starts, we need a ghost team on the ground.
We'll be ready.
And you'll be leading this one, Hesh.
You're not coming?
I'll be in Elias's seat, coordinating your resources. Your father was a great man. Great leader. He saw the same potential in both of you. Here, Logan. This belonged to him.
Sorry, boy. Your job's done. You're going with Merrick.
He'll be safe.
After this, Merrick and the team would plan an attack to really hurt the Federation, as they wanted to get revenge by attacking their space station to take control of their Loki system. The squad that Merrick would send there would be called Icarus, and they would be successful. The team would begin to launch attacks on the Federation, weakening them quite a lot. Merrick would be informed by Logan and Hesh that they were on Rourke's trail and closing in on him. Hesh wanted Merrick to launch a rod from the Loki system onto their location once he said checkmate, and Merrick would be hesitant about this, but he would eventually agree. After launching the rod onto the train, Merrick would call for Logan and Hesh, and after some time he would finally hear back from them. Merrick would tell the brothers that help was on their way, and Merrick would mobilize himself in a small unit of Ghosts to the location of the Walker brothers.
Command, airstrip is secure. Solid copy, Badger 1. Rally with 4th Battalion and run hot to Echo 3-2. High-value acquisition underway in Foxtrot 9. Ghost team are active. Repeat, Ghosts are en route.
But when they finally reached them, only Hesh was there. Somehow Rourke had survived and taken Logan with him, and after getting Hesh to safety and helping him recover, Merrick and Hesh would lead the hunt in rescuing Logan Walker.
They're down. We're moving to entry A.
I hope we get to see Merrick return in some fashion in a future Call of Duty game. Thank you for joining me, as this has been the life and the career of Captain Thomas A. Merrick.